Hello everyone, my name is Dave Partner. Welcome to your next nodejs tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll build a client. Remember in the past tutorial, we built a server. So let's see a client, and I'll explain why you might need to know how to build a client. So we'll name it client.js, and in the past tutorial where we did the server, we had to actually fetch the index.html page. We have to come and type it in here manually. What if in your code you don't need someone to actually type it in manually? You want a part of your code to make the request by itself. That is when you will need something called a client. Okay, whoever is making the request is called the client. So we'll open here, and then we have to write codes for the client. So basic code for client, just you import the HTTP. We'll need the HTTP to make a request to the server. Remember, our server is currently running, and what are the options we will need? We can just call it options needed, or whatever you want. Inside these options needed, we have to mention the host we are targeting. And remember, in our code we have our host is localhost. Localhost. Then we have a port called 8081. Then the file we want to request for is index. So we have to just mention these three parameters here. So host, we call it localhost. Then we have a port, and that port is 8081. So once a request goes to this, our node server will start working. But if you don't mention 8081, other servers in your system might pick up the request and try to process it, which will end up in a fatal failure or 404 not found. So we have this. So this is what we're looking for. The next thing we'll check out is var. We'll create a callback function that handles the response. So we have callback that handles response. So now the callback handles the response. We create a variable and call it message. So we set it to a string, make it a string, an empty string. Nothing is inside for now. But then we listen, we observe response. We observe the response. Once the response is able to read the data, once it receives the data from the server, and what we can do right here is create a callback function that says, hey, if you have data, just do this, which is basically save everything in message. All the data you're receiving, you can save everything in message. Okay, that being settled, we have to check for after reading everything on end. Remember, we taught it in the past tutorials. What you will do is after you finish receiving the data, you will just print to us to tell us the whole data. Okay, assuming we finish receiving everything, so we'll just print everything out. So this part says, hey, once you have concluded, we're observing, once you have finished reading the data, here, as you're reading the data, save it here, save everything, the response you get. But once you've finished, print everything out. Okay, so at the end, remember, so far we've not actually made the request, which means at the end here we can actually make the request. We can say, okay, var request made, or whatever you want to call yours, http.request. We'll have call it options, callback, and say finally we have request made, end. So this line makes this request, and this request, this is the request, submits this request to the server, and the server gives us a response. Then we print the response. Okay. All right. So let's see that in our command prompt. So we get to a command prompt. As you can see on the server end, the request for this has been received. So the server is telling us that it has received this. All these errors, look at, it knows that you're trying to do something that resembles a website. So it's giving you an error that is not seeing favicon.ico and whatever. So we've not included the favicon, so this is not a problem. Okay. So we have to make a request. We have to run client.js. So we'll leave this command prompt open. So we open the next one and say node. We have this, and we call we have to copy this, then Ctrl C, then right click and enter. So we're here, we have node client.js, enter. An error somewhere. Yeah, I made a mistake, and why didn't you tell me? You're just watching the tutorial and you know it's a mistake. Okay, so it's telling me there's a mistake on line 1, and the mistake is that, hey, look at line 1, this is not request, it's require. Okay, so let's try and run it again. I'll press the up arrow key to get my last command and press enter, and of course we have another one on line 34. So this guy is not options. It's telling us like on line 24 that there's a problem here. As you can see, this caret. So this guy, we're supposed to call this guy here. So it's supposed to be options needed. Okay. So there we have it. We'll run it one more time, and oops, and there you go, response. All right, run it one more time after fixing the error, then up arrow key and enter. All right, there we have the program finally running. So it just printed everything inside that HTML file. Once we run the client makes a request to the server serves the HTML file, the client prints it, everything needed. Okay, that's it. So if you made any mistakes in your own code, please correct it. Make sure that your variables are named correctly. And that settles this for our client tutorial. Alright, thank you very much. As we proceed from now on, you will see that this Node.js will start becoming very much more interesting. So what you should do is wrap your head around what is happening. Try to understand it, not memorize, okay? You can always find these codes online, but don't memorize it, but understand what is happening. Alright, so see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.